Have you ever wondered why some people work hard their entire lives, yet never seem to get ahead? They wake up early. They work overtime. They save what they can. But somehow, they stay stuck. Now look at someone else. They seem calm. They don't always work longer hours. Yet year after year, they become wealthier. Is it luck? Not usually. The truth is that most people aren't held back by a lack of intelligence. They're held back by ideas they've believed for years. Ideas that sound reasonable. Ideas repeated by family, friends, schools, television, and even social media. The scary part? Many of these ideas feel completely true. Today, we're exposing 5 of the biggest money lies that millions of people still believe. If you've ever believed even one of them, it may have quietly cost you thousands of dollars without you even realizing it. And don't worry. This isn't about blaming anyone. We've all believed at least one of these lies. Some of us still do. So before we begin, ask yourself one simple question. What if everything you've been taught about money is only half true? Let's find out. Money lie number 1. Money is the root of all evil. You've probably heard this sentence dozens of times. Imagine a hammer. Can a hammer build a house? Yes. Can it also break a window? Of course. So, is the hammer evil? No. The person using it decides what happens. Money works exactly the same way. Money doesn't change who you are. It simply makes you more of who you already are. A generous person with money can help hundreds of people. A selfish person with money may only think about themselves. The money didn't create either personality. It only amplified it. Yet millions of people grow up believing that wanting more money somehow makes them greedy. So they avoid learning about investing. They avoid asking for a raise. Sometimes they even feel guilty about becoming successful. Without realizing it, they're rejecting the very tool that could give them more freedom. And that's exactly why this first lie is so powerful. Money lie number 2. You have to work harder to become rich. At first, that sounds completely logical. Work more hours. Earn more money. Simple, right? But let me ask you something. If working harder automatically made people wealthy, why aren't construction workers millionaires? Why aren't nurses among the richest people in the world? Why do so many people work 2 jobs, yet still struggle to pay their bills? The truth is, hard work matters. But hard work alone is not enough. Imagine 2 people. One spends 10 hours every day digging holes. The other spends 2 hours building a business that earns money even while sleeping. Who will have more freedom after 10 years? Exactly. The goal isn't to avoid hard work. The goal is to make your work produce results long after you've stopped working. That's why wealthy people often ask a different question. Instead of saying, "How can I work more?" they ask, "How can this work without me?" That single question changes everything. A business. An investment. A valuable skill. A digital product. These things can continue creating income long after the original work is finished. Most people trade time for money. Wealthy people build systems that keep producing value. There's even a funny example. Imagine carrying buckets of water all day from a river to your village. You become stronger every day. But one day, someone builds a pipeline. Suddenly, the water keeps flowing. Even while they're asleep. Who worked harder? The person with the buckets. Who solved the problem? The person who built the system. Money often rewards solutions, not exhaustion. That's why simply working longer hours doesn't always create wealth. Sometimes, working smarter isn't laziness. It's wisdom. And that's the second lie. Now let's move to a lie that almost every child hears while growing up. And it silently shapes the rest of their financial life. Money lie number 3. Saving money alone will make you rich. This is probably one of the most common financial beliefs in the world. And yes, saving money is important. Everyone should have an emergency fund. Everyone should avoid unnecessary spending. But here's the problem. If saving money alone created wealth, the richest people on earth would simply be the best savers. They're not. Think about it. Imagine you save $10 every single day. That's a great habit. But where does that money go? If it sits in a bank account for years, inflation quietly steals part of its value. Your money isn't growing. It's slowly losing purchasing power. Now imagine someone else. Instead of letting every dollar sleep, they put part of it to work. They invest. They buy assets. They learn new skills that increase their income. Their money starts making money. And that's the difference. Money should be treated like an employee. If every dollar works for you, your financial life slowly changes. If every dollar just sits still, nothing changes. Here's a simple example. Imagine hiring 10 workers. On the first day, 9 of them sit in chairs all day doing absolutely nothing. Only one works. Would your business grow? Of course not. Now imagine every worker is productive. Everything moves faster. Money works the same way. Every dollar should have a purpose. Some dollars protect you. Some dollars grow. Some dollars create opportunities. The goal isn't to save every dollar forever. The goal is to give your money a job. That's exactly what wealthy people understand. They don't ask, "How much money do I have?" They ask, "How many dollars are working for me today?" That single mindset changes everything. And now, let's talk about a lie that quietly keeps millions of people trapped for decades. Money lie number 4. I'll start investing when I have more money. It sounds responsible. It sounds practical. But for most people, it's just another excuse. Think about it. How many times have you told yourself, "I'll start next month, after I get a raise"? When life becomes less expensive, months become years. Years become decades. And before you know it, the opportunity is gone. Here's the truth. The amount you start with matters far less than the habit of starting. Imagine 2 friends. One begins investing just $20 every week. The other says, "I'll wait until I can invest 1,000. 5 years later. Who do you think has learned more? Who has built confidence? Who has experienced both gains and mistakes? The first person. Because investing isn't only about money. It's about building discipline. Many people believe investors are fearless. They're not. They simply started before they felt completely ready. Here's a funny way to think about it. Imagine standing beside a swimming pool. You keep saying, "I'll jump in when the water gets warmer." Meanwhile, everyone else is already swimming. The truth? The water never feels warm enough. You simply have to get in. Investing works the same way. You'll never know everything. You'll never feel perfectly prepared. But every year you wait, time keeps moving. And time is one of the greatest advantages an investor can have. Money can grow. Skills can grow. Experience can grow. But time can never be replaced. That's why wealthy people don't wait for the perfect moment. They create momentum by taking the first step, even if it's a small one. Because small actions repeated over many years often create extraordinary results. And now, let's reveal the final lie. The one that quietly convinces millions of people that wealth is only for someone else. Money lie number 5. Rich people are just lucky. You've probably heard this before. Maybe you've even said it yourself. They were born into money. They had connections. They were simply lucky. And yes, some people absolutely start with advantages. There's no denying that. But here's something most people never notice. Every single day, thousands of ordinary people quietly improve their financial lives. No headlines. No television interviews. No overnight success. Just small decisions, repeated consistently. The truth is, luck may open a door, but discipline decides whether you stay inside. Imagine 2 people winning the exact same amount of money. One spends it without thinking. The other invests part of it, learns new skills, and creates new opportunities. 5 years later, their lives will probably look completely different. Not because of luck, because of choices. Wealth is rarely built by one giant decision. It's built by hundreds of small decisions, made over and over again. That's why these 5 money lies are so dangerous. They don't steal your money overnight. They steal your future, one belief at a time. So ask yourself, which one have you believed? And more importantly, which one will you stop believing today? Because changing your financial life doesn't begin with earning more. It begins with thinking differently. The moment your mindset changes, your decisions begin to change. And when your decisions change, your future can change too. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, subscribe to Hidden Wealth for more powerful insights about money, investing, and financial freedom. Thank you for watching. And remember, your greatest investment will always be yourself.